U.S. warns its citizens all over the world against possible terrorist attacks in the aftermath of the terrorist attacks that took place in France and resulted in the death of 20 people. The Syrian Arab Army continues to pursue terrorist organizations in several cities, inflicting heavy losses upon terrorists. Sayyid Hassan Nasrullah says that all the countries and people of the region should unite in facing and terminating Takfiri terrorist groups. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Irado Krikorian from the News Center in Damascus. Units of the Syrian Arab Army and the armed forces continue to pursue Takfiri and terrorist organizations in several provinces, inflicting heavy losses upon their ranks in personnel and equipment. Units of the Syrian Arab Army and armed forces killed and injured many terrorists in Jabal al-Akrad, Qastun, Qura al-Shaghir, Halluz and Al-Houta in Jisr al-Shughur in Idlib countryside. A number of terrorists were killed while others were injured as the Syrian Arab Army targeted their gatherings in Rajm al-Qasr and the area surrounding it in the eastern countryside of Homs. In Daraa, a military source said that the Syrian Arab Army units killed a large number of terrorists and injured many others in the areas surrounding the old customs building in Daraa al-Balad and Zamreen town north to Daraa city. In Deir ez-Zor, an ISIS gathering was targeted in the village of Al-Jazarat. The attack resulted in the killing of 6 terrorists. The Syrian Arab Army confronted the terrorist groups in Nablus and Az-Zahra to the northwest of Aleppo. In cooperation with locals and national defense forces, the Syrian Arab Army killed scores of terrorists belonging to al-Nusra front who launched attack against the 2 areas. Al-Nusra and other terrorist groups have been besieging the area for 2 years. Welcome back. Secretary General of the Lebanese Hezbollah party, Sayyid Hassan Nasrullah, said that Takfiri groups pose threats to all the countries and people of the region, stressing that all sides should unite in facing and terminating them. In a speech, Nasrullah said that the barbaric acts committed by Takfiri groups in Syria and Iraq and elsewhere are an insult to Islam, and that these groups pose a threat to Islam itself as a religion and a mission on an international level. In Iraq, a security source in Anbar governorate announced the killing of the military leader of the ISIS terrorist Mazen al-Libi to the east of Al-Fallujah in an attack carried out by an Iraqi army unit. Meanwhile, the police chief in Diyala city said that about 97% of the governorate is under the Iraqi army's control, referring that the existence of ISIS terrorists is limited to 2 areas that will be liberated shortly. Chief of the Security Committee in Salah ad-Din governorate said that there are big differences in the ranks of ISIS in Ad-Dur area. The U.S. warned its citizens all over the world against possible terrorist attacks. The warning came in the aftermath of the terrorist attacks that took place in France and resulted in the death of 20 people. The U.S. State Department said that the ISIS organization and other terrorist organizations are planning to launch attacks against American and Western interests in Europe. Meanwhile, Spain announced that it would unite efforts with France to confront terrorism. The Spanish Minister of Interior said that he would discuss the efforts to combat terrorism with his French counterpart in Paris later today. Australian police arrested 2 people within the framework of a large-scale investigation into the crimes related to terrorism and joining the terrorist groups operating in Syria and Iraq. The arrest took place to the southwest of Sydney as part of the investigation that focuses on means of supporting the Australians who left the country and headed to Syria and Iraq to join terrorist organizations. According to the Australian intelligence agency, about 70 Australians joined the terrorist organizations in Syria and Iraq, and there are about 100 people cooperating with these organizations inside Australia. Finally, peaceful demonstrations were staged in the Bahraini capital, Al-Manama, protesting the arrest of Secretary General of the Wifaq Association, Sheikh Ali Salman, by Al-Khalifa authorities. Thousands of Bahraini citizens took to the streets of Ad-Daraz area to the west of Al-Manama, defying the oppression of Al-Khalifa forces who used gas bombs and live ammunition. The demonstrators demanded for an immediate release of Sheikh Salman and responding to people's demands. With this, we conclude our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Now to latest business and market news with Nariman Qassam, but after a short break.